And when you can actually sit there and back yourself up, say, as you're going through now, I'm talking about real estate, coming back and saying, yeah, I've got a book that I can actually give you. Um, it's impressive to a lot of people that, that I am an authority on what I'm doing.
Yeah, if you could just tell me a little bit about yourself, how long you've been in real estate and where you are in the country.
Well, a few years ago, my wife and I decided to get into real estate, and we actually started as a part-time basis. She's got 7 years in, I got 6 years in. I've been in sales my entire life. She came from a paralegal. She came from the law, a couple law firms that she used to work with. So I actually had her jump in both feet first before I jumped in, make sure that she was okay with, how everything was going. And so we, once she got going, and then finally I got my license, then we created the Henderson Realty team here we're based out of Michigan. I'm actually now, used to live south of Detroit. Now I'm in Byron Township, Michigan, which is actually northwest of Detroit, probably about an hour and a half now. We just moved.
Great.
So,
oh, cool. Well, tell me, how did you find out about Authorify? How did you become one of our members?
So going through doing some obviously things for prospecting and stuff. And then the algorithms from Facebook started popping up, and Authorify came up and says, interesting. I thought I'd take a look at it. And I watched a couple of the videos before making the decision of actually jumping in with both feet. Once I finally got the books and then got the electronic version out, started passing that out to a couple clients. And then we finally got our first book, Selling Secrets, Can't Afford to Miss, got that one out. And all of a sudden I started getting a couple phone calls here and there. So I picked up a couple of listings. One week I actually picked up 2 because of the book.
Wow, that's great. How long have you been a member with us again?
I think I've been a member about a year and a half at the most right now.
Great.
So, and then we just actually went through and finally went after the second book. We got the best options for in divorce, and just got this last week. So I haven't even had a chance to even get that out yet. So, but the Selling Secrets has been my mainstay as far as passing that out. And I actually have it on my email. So it goes out on an email. They always get the clip, to click on it. But that's been the one that I've been hanging my hat on.
Great. How are you? So other than with the email signature, how are you getting these books out to clients?
So I've actually had a couple people call us, looking to, we're interviewing because we either want to buy or sell. And this is great. So it gets things set up. And before I even get out to meet them, I actually send them the electronic version, which they have been picking up on. And it says, when I come and see you, I'll actually hand you one. And then, at least it gives you an idea of, what we're going to be talking about. And last week, 2 weeks ago, I actually picked up finally a listing that put me over $1 million mark.
Great. That's awesome. So you've had, if you don't mind me asking, how many, I know sometimes it's hard to gauge with different marketing materials and things like that, but if you could put a number on the amount of listings that you've gotten as a result of your book, do you have that?
The book is probably, the book has definitely got me up to the $1 million mark as far as selling homes. His last one was 300,000. But average is right around about 100 to 150,000 for the homes that we've been listing. And basically people have read the books I've read the book. I've interviewed other agents. The book is impressive, and you seem to know what you're talking about. And, I basically I know what's in that book. So I know what page, where to go and how to recite it basically when I need to.
Right. And I think that's really important, is to actually read the book that you're handing out. I think sometimes people get different marketing materials and they're just kind of handing it out there, and you definitely want to know the inside, and you definitely want to know everything so that you can have those really good conversations and direct people to specific chapters or pages that are applicable to them.
Yeah. I do have one client. We're on his second house now. He bought his first one, which was a investment, and then now he's buying his. But basically, he keeps coming back, says that was one of my favorite books that I read, is the book that you gave me. And we've talked about it a few times. He goes, you keep telling me about this, or you told me about this, and it's in the book, and I couldn't believe it. Yes, I mean, you know what you're talking about. You're going on, and it's humbling.
Yeah, absolutely. So, with your background in sales, what was it that kind of drew you to this style of marketing?
With where I've come from, I mean, knowing your product, knowing what you're selling, knowing what you're dealing with, and it's important to be able to, talk about, to get you in front of those type of people, and then when you can actually sit there and back yourself up, say, as you're going through now, I'm talking about real estate, coming back and saying, yeah, I've got a book that I can actually give you. It's impressive to a lot of people that that I am an authority on what I'm doing, and they know where I'm coming from, and I have something to back myself up.
Right. When one of the notes that I got was that your landing, is it correct? You got a lead or a listing from your landing page as well?
I did.
Awesome. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I actually sent out more or less as somebody was reaching out to me. I got an email and I handed them the electronic version. I says, here, click on this. It's a free copy, electronic version. And actually, they weren't even in the state. They were out of state. So they read it and they says, yeah, I have a property here in Michigan that I want to sell. I read your book, and I want you to take care of it for me. And basically, it was just somebody that was just they're interviewing agents. And because of that, gave me the opportunity to move forward with them.
Great. I really like that you how you're sending out the digital link, and then right away to get that into people's hands, and so they can start kind of previewing it a little bit, and then handing them the hard copy right when you get there, because that digital link, when you're that link kind of helps warm them up. But then once you have created, once you have made that sale and that transaction has gone on, now that they have that book to pass off to somebody else if they wanted to, and you've kind of kept that whole train rolling with that one book.
Oh, I have. I've been trying to keep that going, make sure that they at least get the electronic. And then once I finally get in front of them, I hand them a book and say, okay, and then we start going through the whole process. So basically, it's just I'm not saying anything, regarding the book. I just hand it to them. And then we just keep talking about what's going on, what do they want to do, what's, everything about their home that they want to sell.
Yeah. With the now that you've gotten the divorce listings books, what's your kind of plan of action with those?
The divorce listing is something I'm going to start to, again, like I said, I just got it last week. I want to start working towards divorce lawyers, maybe counselors if I can find, who they are in the area. Again, I just moved here, so everything's brand new to me too, as far as the area. So I'm learning the area, learning who to talk to, getting into some networking groups and stuff like that to find out, okay, my specific acts, I'm looking for divorce lawyers, or I'm looking for divorce counselors and stuff like that to see if I can get in front of those people and say, hey, I have 5 books. Would you be able to pass these out if you have any clients that are in a need of possibly selling their property?
Yeah, that's great. And, with your wife's background also, I'd imagine that, kind of understanding a little bit about that world is helpful.
It does. And it keeps me out of trouble too, but yes.
Absolutely. It's always good to have somebody to keep you in check. That's
Yep.
Well,
absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about just, that one of the things that we always talk about with our members is, how there is no such thing as a cold call anymore. There's not that, you know, you having to sell yourself on the fact that you are an expert anymore because you're giving them the proof right there.
Yeah, it's actually it's nice because I still do a couple of those cold calls, but once I get them on the phone and say, hey, and I pass off the link, and then when we meet, I can get them it's actually it's a lot easier to deal with. It's a lot of the questions are being answered by the book, a lot of stuff like that, and it's more comfortable with not only the client for us and moving forward with that deal. It's it's nice to deal with. It's nice to to show them that we are an authority. We're here to walk you through it and make it as easy as possible. And actually, with having the books and stuff, I did because we moved so far out from where we used to live. I ended up having to move from one office to another office. So when we moved into that office, the new broker, we kind of sat down and talked, and says, "Yeah, I got a couple books," and showed it to him and everything else. So now he actually is helping me when we do some of these interviews on Facebook. We do a couple Facebook lives and stuff like that. And he says, "Oh, by the way, I've got Mark Henderson here," and he'll come. And he's got books. He's an author, and he's helping us out too because we're getting recognition now faster than what we have before we had the book. So it's appreciated, and he actually sees the value of what we've gotten. He's read the one book. He hasn't read the other one because, like I said, I just gave it to him. But he's helping promote us too.
Yeah. What so going back to the listings that you have gotten from your book, can you kind of share like a specific story of like kind of the whole process of how one of those went down?
So the one, actually, what was nice is that the one deal I'm going to talk about is she was an old high school friend of ours, and she knew I was in real estate and stuff. So basically, I started promoting the book through Facebook, Instagram, and stuff. And she actually went and got the book even before she called me. So she actually read up on it and everything else, and she followed it to a T, getting her house ready to go. And then she finally called up and says, "I'm ready to sell." We came out, and she basically showed me that she had the electronic book. So basically, I turned around and just handed her a brand new one. And then she goes through and says, "Well, I followed this chapter and this, and did this." So basically, the house was completely almost staged to a point where when I walked in, it's like she was ready to go. All I had to do was put a sign out in front of the house. But she followed a lot of the stuff that was written and took care of, touched up everything. It was very, very easy to get the contract.
Yeah, that's incredible. I haven't actually talked to anybody yet that said that somebody read my book before ever reaching out to me and did everything I said. That's a new one that I haven't heard yet.
It was surprising, and because of her situation, she had to get out of the house of she left somebody basically, and she was in a position where she couldn't afford to keep the house anymore. So she wanted it to be presentable, and not only did we get it ready to go that quickly, which was phenomenal, she ended up getting over asking price for that house. So she ended up making more than what we originally listed it for.
Right.
She probably made about $12,000 more. So because of the book.
Well, that's excellent. And then, for her and for you, she's able to say, "Hey, I followed his book. I followed everything he had to say, and it worked so well for me." That's a great referral for you. That she's going to be a great person, to kind of keep filling your pipeline with people that she knows.
Oh, absolutely.
Well,
absolutely.
Cool.